Hi everybody, thank you for watching. Today I would like to share with you my very first project for Hip Kit Club. I am a new design team member. I'm super excited. Their subscription, their boxes are absolutely beautiful. This is the February kit. I used everything in here is from the February kit except for the trims and the twine and the tool that I use. But everything else, I'm sorry, if you see a little sugar ant go on the screen, I have done this video so many times. I don't see any, and then all of a sudden they crawl through the thing. And we currently have a sugar ant problem, and there is not even any food over here. They're driving me crazy. So I'm sorry, if you see a little guy scutter by, just ignore him. Anyways, so everything in here is from the February kit. Except for the tools and the trim. I had a lot of fun creating this. Okay, so on Instagram, I asked what everybody thought it was, and most people thought that it was a banner. It's actually a mini album. I did Coptic binding on the side. Well, sort of Coptic binding. I did accordion fold Coptic binding, so it's not quite. This part is considered Coptic binding, but the inside is not like a Coptic bounded Coptic book. So let's open it up. I cut every heart out with my Cricut, but you don't have to. You can, of course, cut them out by hand. So each heart has 3 layers. It has a top layer, the actual heart layer that are all the same size, and then a back layer. I like to add more layers. You can never tell in the videos, but these are actually very sturdy. I'm all about the feel when you get it and when you hold it in your hands. And I tend to find when you use one piece of cardstock, it's quite light and flimsy. So this has a nice solid feel. These are all I'm forgetting what they're called, die cuts from the kit. This is Fussy Cut. These are stickers by Pink Fresh Studio. The trim I use, the paper, there's a few different brands of paper. I can't remember all of them, so I'm gonna post them below so I don't leave any out. I was gonna say forget, but that almost sounded like a bad word was about to come out of my mouth. I would never say a bad word on here, I promise. And this is some of the, I don't say bad words. This is washi tape, and I backed it with some of the white cardstock and then made like a little mini banner with it. These are some of the die cuts. I fussy cut this one out. This is a die cut. Here's a puffy sticker here. I added a little bit of trim that I cut down. It was wired ribbon that I cut down. Here's some more of the ephemera and the die cuts. There's a little piece of glue. Here's these banners. There's quite a few of these banners in the kit, and they're really cute. They have long ones, skinny ones. They're super cute. They have a little texture. It's kind of like canvasy, so it gives it a nice feel and adds just more layers and texture to your project. I cut my picture down so it would fit nicely in this little floral wreath. The other thing that's nice about this way of binding is it adds this little border here, and it can sit quite flat. I mean, there's lots of layers going on, but it opens all the way. I'm not struggling to open it, or it's not stuck like this. You can literally open each page and lay it down nice and flat. So that adds a nice little touch, I believe, so you can open it. This here, I kept it quite simple. I used 2 pieces of the ephemera, a little puffy sticker, and I backed my photo with some white cardstock. For this heart, I took one of these hearts before I added everything on there, and I stuck it in between 2 pieces of acetate. And then, that's acetate, right? Or is it vellum? Oh my gosh. I've done this video like 10 times and I keep messing that part up. It is like a mental brain blockage when I talk about this paper. It is acetate. The vellum is the clear whitey paper stuff. This is acetate, I'm pretty sure. And I stuck the heart in between 2 pieces, and then I stitched. If you can see here, this heart is actually a little bit bigger than this one, because what I did was I lined up my sewing machine with the paper so the needle would go just on the outside of the paper. And then once I did about half of it, I took out the piece of paper, then I put it on top and stitched around. So again, I made it so the needle was like going right here, right next to where I wanted it. And then I had about this much of an opening. I stuffed it with my sequins, put the paper heart back on top, and then finished off the stitch. You could also use your die cut machine, or like if you have nesting dies or something, or a heart die. But I find that a little bit harder because when you have 2 loose pieces of this, it just moves as soon as you try to sew it. So it's easier if you work with a larger piece than you intend, because it won't move. And if it does, it's okay, because the bigger section will just, the extra will make up for it. If you have exact pieces, then you'll have a hole, and it's super frustrating. So always work with extra, because you can always trim it down. So that one's there. I stuffed it again with a bunch of sequins. I'm sorry about my pointer fingernail. If you see it, it has tie-dye in it. I own a tie-dye business, and I worked an event yesterday at a local temple, and I have tie-dye in my finger now because my glove popped. It always pops, and then it gets under my fingernail, and it's gross. So it takes a few days to come out. So I'm sorry, but just don't look at it. I'm trying to hide it so you don't actually see it. For here, I made a little flip window of a heart. It's just another heart that I ran my, what is that called? The score, I ran it through a scoreboard to crease it, and then I cut 3 different pieces of the paper and stitched them on for half the heart, and then it opens up this way also. So this again, everything is from the kit. I made a small little journaling window here. I don't like to write on my projects because I don't really like my handwriting, and I am a horrible speller. So these words were all super simple, but sometimes I struggle, and I often have to check it on my phone because I never know. Sometimes I'm right, and I never think I am, but usually I have something wrong, so I don't often write. These I fussy cut from one of the papers. I love these colors. These colors are absolutely gorgeous. And it's nice because I have 2 boys, so to add a touch of blue when I'm working with, especially because they always wear blue and red and white, they're never in pinks. So it lets them kind of match the paper a little bit. These are my niece and my nephew, and this is my youngest son. This was a few years ago. We were in Canada, and we brought mangoes from our Florida trees that we dehydrated, and they were chowing down on some mangoes. They love them. That's what the little journaling card says, that we were having a mango party. This is the last page. On this page, I fussy cut this out from, there's a 12 by 12 piece of paper in the kit, and it has a whole bunch of 2 by 2 little squares on there, and I cut this out of that, and I cut this out of that paper. I rose this one up with some pop dots. I gave it a little bit of stitching to make it look like it had the banner, the string for the banner, and this one's just flush against the black and white piece of paper, and that is it. Here's the back. I did a little bit of blah, 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 stitchy there. I'm gonna add one of my little made, I'll make different ones because this one says made for you, but I'm actually keeping this album, so I should make different ones that say just made by Shara Crane. But here it is. I hope you enjoyed watching my flip through. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all your wonderful comments you guys always leave in my videos. You inspire me just as much as I inspire you. So we have a wonderful crafting community. Stay tuned for more project shares, as I'm super excited to make lots of things for the Hip Kit Club, and make sure you check them out. Thanks.